Hi there, welcome to Funding by Alex. Today I would like to talk to you about the pitch deck and all the essential elements. I want to go one by one in separate videos, and today I would like to talk about framing the problem, the solution, and also the market opportunity. Virtually all startup ideas come from solving a problem. That problem has to be a real problem, so not something that you think people might find convenient or something that is maybe applicable for just a very small group, a very small number of people, or something that is only periodically applicable. So, in essence, problems that are real and daily problems versus monthly or annual ones. So, you're talking about things that people are encountering every day or businesses are encountering every day, and it's annoying. There's a very interesting book called Demand, which is talking about the hassle map. So, the hassle map is actually how much trouble it costs you to do something, to get information, to book an appointment, or get food delivered to your door, basically. So all these things actually led to startup ideas, solving a problem. Now, daily problems are more powerful because it's more frequent. People are more confronted with it. Therefore, also the revenue model, is more stable than having a monthly or annual one. Not necessarily, of course, but let's say a daily one is like, okay, I'm spending money daily on something, or I have a need daily. Needs usually top ones, or always top ones. Therefore, daily problems are more powerful to solve. So then, how is solving the problem going to benefit the user? So in essence, uh, you have to frame it inside this slide or this two slides maybe that you're dedicating on it in your startup pitch deck. You solve the problem for who? For what kind of group? How are you going to solve it? How is it going to benefit them? How is it going to make their life easier? And how much are they annoyed by it? Usually, that can come to in the pitch deck of itself. Of course, you should limit the text a bit, but when you're presenting, you basically can refer to this real life example for the investors that are listening, the venture capital fund that also are people, of course, who also encounter these daily problems. So that is something you can refer to in a story or an introduction in essence. And then very important before you jump into something like this, it's like check if it is something others tried to do before you and how did they do because there are certain ideas that seem to become a very yeah, like a rehash of old ideas. So like, hey, I need a social network to coordinate with my friends, how to make appointments for all these events that we want to do and all these activities that we're going to do in the weekend. Nobody else is doing it. Now, yeah, the reason is that it's extremely difficult to put everything together on one app and to get everybody consistently to use it. Same as music discovery. Music discovery is like, oh hey, to discover new bands. That is actually something that has been tried over and over again, and everyone has failed miserably trying to put that idea in practice. Not saying that nobody wants to listen to new bands, but usually when you are talking about music, you have a preference, you have a couple of bands that you're really fan of, or like you really would like to hear, or some type of music that you like to hear, and listening to something unexpected to nobody's basically on a music discovery portal, that turned out to be something that less people are interested in than that was viable to make it a commercial idea. So these are problems that you basically have maybe on the daily basis, but are not problems that are commercially viable, or people have tried it before, failed. There are a lot of ideas that have been maybe tried 20 times and still it gets a little bit better every single time. It doesn't mean you can't get it right, but it's unlikely if someone else has already tried. So learn from the mistakes at least when you when you try and decide to retry again. So after those one or two slides, you need to move over to the solution. So how are you going to solve this problem? So is the solving the problem better, faster, cheaper, whatever? Just being cheaper, is it easy to copy for a large incumbent, player in essence. So in what way is it different from incumbents? That's also the thing. So is it just that the incumbent has to lower his price and he's there as well? Then you don't have much of an idea. So, or I'm also going to copy exactly what the incumbent is doing, but then I'm going to grab some market share because I need investment to put in the marketing, and I'm going to grab, let's say, 3% of their market, and then that's also money. That is something that probably won't fly, in terms of solution. There are, of course, examples where startups have been built. So the Pioneer was actually going very slowly, and then after that, there is a new company coming in. Let's say, for example, Indonesia had a very interesting e-commerce platform called Tokopedia. They spent tons of money on building that. They were the pioneer in essence, after Lazada, I guess. And then Shopee came in with maybe $10-20 million, and suddenly they became the number two platform. Basically there was nothing that they did was out of the ordinary, but they could simply, with a $10 million investment, they could actually get the number two position. So this is something that, is it defendable? Is it something that is really disrupting the current status quo by solving something in a unique way that only you can, or it's defendable, or the way you engineered it, basically? And how does it work in practice, and for who? So who is your target audience? Like I mentioned before, when you are defining the problem, also you need to define whose problem are you solving, what problem, whose problem, and how is it benefiting, and how is it working in essence. So this is what investors would like to know, like basic understanding of what is the solution you have in mind, and how you're going to do this, basically. So that's in a nutshell what the solution should be about. And now we come to the nitty gritty of the entire thing, which is the market opportunity. So you have lined up the problem, you've lined up the solution. Now you have to line up what is actually the opportunity that you are trying to address. So how big is the market? So how many people have this problem? How many people are you going to solve this problem for? Is it a niche you can dominate? So it doesn't have to necessarily be something that is very mass market, but if you have a large niche, like millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people, which is not the entire world population. So let's say you solve a problem that is unique to a certain age group, or maybe just to women or just to men. Yeah, then you're already segmenting it, by gender, for example, or by age, or ethnicity in some cases, whereas could actually be one of the segmenting factors. So these things create a niche, with regards to, okay, how large is that niche, and can you dominate it, basically? So sometimes investors are more interested in, okay, it's maybe a smaller market you are addressing, but it's underserved, so there's nothing going on that is really capturing it at this moment. So the solutions that are there are, of course, people buy the solution, but it's not perfect for them. So that's something that, examples, for example, where you have, for example, cosmetics for African people. So they had, in South Africa, they had a very successful cosmetics brand that was basically by and for Africans, basically. So people with a dark skin tone. This was something the big brands were not doing. So there was a local brand that really launched very successfully and captured that market. Now, since then, of course, it's been copied, and the large brands are also catering to this niche, basically. But in essence, this was an example of segmenting something where it's a niche. Now, Africa, of course, there's quite a large number of people who are African, so to speak. So that is something. But I mean, all over the world, you have people with a darker skin tone and people with a lighter skin tone. So they need maybe different types of cosmetics to highlight their features. So in the end, it's just a difference that this brand in particular really addressed very well. And what you need to keep in mind is the TAM, SAM, and SOM, so the total addressable market. So you have the total market, then the total addressable market, the market you can actually address and reach. The SAM, basically, that is the serviceable addressable market. So that is the market that actually, out of the addressable market, that is the market you can realistically service. And then you have the sum, which is even a smaller portion of that. So sum is a subset of TAM, and TAM is a subset of the total market. So sum is a subset of sum, which is a serviceable obtainable market. So meaning with the investment, how much can I realistically target? How much can I realistically service with the yeah basically resources at my disposal? Because you have to build it from maybe the service centers you need to build, or maybe you need to build the infrastructure for this step by step. So meaning, okay, the sum, this service addressable market, is not entirely something you can capture. So the sum is actually step by step what you can capture. Then how will you capture the value? So the mechanism, how is this going to happen? That is actually something you need to explain. So this is actually really the basics. So I'm going in future videos, I'm going into the other elements of a pitch deck. But once you have this, it's probably 50% of the work has been done. The rest is actually the team. The team is also a very important element, of course, because this is the, let's say, the horse, and then you have the jockey. This is actually something Edward Ismail Chandani, my good friend from Gaio Capital in Indonesia, he once coined this term. When at least I don't know whether he coined it, but I mean I want to give him credit because he's the one who once mentioned it to him, saying like the idea is the horse, and you as the operator, so the founders, you're the jockey. So the horse you can change, the idea you can change, you can pivot to another idea, but the jockey is actually the one who's driving, who's actually so this is maybe 10%, and then 90% is actually the jockey. So 10% is the horse, 90% is the jockey. I think in reality, probably in horse racing, it might be the other way around, but I'm not sure. But this is the analogy that we use in investment terms. So this is something that I think, with regards to team, the other big elements that shall go to in another video, but once you have this, you have at least a foundation. Then you need to form your team. So your team can always be added. You can find the people that are augmenting or complementing your own shortcomings, basically. You have qualities, they have qualities. Now, together you actually are the winning team in that sense. So the people who need to do it. So just want to make sure that these basics are understood. And if you have any questions, of course, you can contact me. I'll list my contact details at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm making a lot of different videos in the category of startup funding videos, and trying to help startups with operational problems. So I'm running a consultancy. So this is Golden Dragon Capital, which is a brand of PT Kaya Abadi Sejahtera, which is an Indonesian consultancy company. We basically are able to be reached at, I'm able to be reached at alex@goldendragoncapital.co. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or would like to do a project with us. So we are available for fundraising help, so we can help you raise funds, connect you to investors, etc. So we're not pitching for you. You actually still need to do the pitching yourself, because they're investing in you, not in us. But we can facilitate the entire process and get you in front of the right people. So at least get your idea in front of the right people, and then they decide whether they would like to invest in you. In essence, this basically video is the basics. Like I said, there will be a follow-up video for the rest of the pitch deck elements that are vital for you to understand and put into the pitch deck. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.